Good afternoon. Welcome to the June 6th, 2023 City of Glens Falls Planning Board. We have a number of items on our agenda this evening. The first item on our agenda is the review and potential approval of the minutes from the May 2nd, 2023 Planning Board. I will start with Ms. Andrews.
No problem. No problem with it.
Nothing from you. Ms. Cullen, nothing from you.
No comment.
Our esteemed attorney, nothing from you. Ms. Mary?
No comment.
Ms. Belden?
No comment.
I had no comments either, nothing that I hadn't already sent to Emily, so I would make a motion that the Glens Falls City Planning Board hereby approves the minutes of the May 2nd, 2023 as submitted. Second. All in favor?
Yes.
Any opposed? That motion carries. One down. First item on our agenda is an old business. This is the one that we tabled at the last meeting. This is for Spot Coffee Glen LLC, seeking an outside dining permit for Spot Coffee Cafe located at 221 Glen Street. Outside dining permits, planning board review, and the issuance of an advisory opinion to the City of Glens Falls Common Council is required prior to the council's review and approval of an outside dining permit. Is there anyone here representing that project? Please, if you come to the microphone. Clearly state your name for our records so that Emily can get you on record.
My name is William Dingman. I'm the district manager for Spot Coffee.
Okay. Tell us about your project. Tell us about your seating area.
Yeah, I believe we put in the plan for 6 outdoor seating tables. Those will all be located 6 feet from the front of the building in the red brick area. And you can see in the outline there, I think there's a total of 8, 9, 10, 12 seats, something to that effect. 18. Yeah, so two tables on either side with 4, and then 2 tables, smaller tables with 2. So.
Okay. So your application shows 3 tables of 4 and 3 tables of 3.
I see. It's been a while since I drew that up.
Been a couple months since you looked at it?
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else that you'd like to add?
No.
Okay. Is there anyone from the public who'd like to speak regarding this application? No? Seeing none online? I will start with Mr. Brown, our architectural consultant.
I have no concerns.
Okay. I will start with the board. Mr. Bell?
I also have no concerns.
Neither do I. No concerns. No concerns.
This is historically how you've had these in the past?
Yeah, I think we added just a table to either side.
Okay. The only concern I know that was brought up at one point was the location of the brick and leaving enough room for cars to get doors open and things like that.
Sure.
Historically, I know that has not been a problem, but again, that's really up to the applicant to police that. So, I think it's something that I haven't seen it be a problem at Spot in the past, and I know that there's plenty of room there.
Right there in front of the Spot, there's a good bit of that
Yeah.
red brick, so yeah, it's helpful to us.
Then, if there's no other comments, I would make a motion that the Glens Falls Planning Board hereby submits the following advisory opinion to the Common Council, that the Council should look with favor on the application of Spot Coffee Glen LLC for the outside dining encroachment permit as presented at the meeting of 6 June 2023. Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Yes.
Any opposed? You, sir, are all set.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Here.
The Common Council will review this at their next meeting.
To approve it.
Yeah,
Perfect.
13th.
Thank you.
Thank you. One done. Nope. Nope. Too much pressure. Second item under old business is also an encroachment. This is a curb cut permit actually for Robert Culvern, owner of, he's actually the applicant contractor for tax map number 302.16-17-44, commonly known as 26 Grand Street, seeking a curb cut at this location. The planning board is to review and issue an advisory opinion to the City of Glens Falls required for the council's review and approval. Is there anybody here representing this application? I see no one. I am going to table this until Mr. Cullen arrives. We knew that today was the meeting. I know there's been emails back and forth. So I will table that for now. under new business, again, is outdoor dining permits. The first one is Carly Minkowski. It's close? Yeah, good. So again, this is a planning board review and the issuance of an advisory opinion to the City of Glens Falls Common Council required prior to the council's review and approval for the following permits. This is for Radici Kitchen and Bar located at 26 Bridge Street. Good afternoon.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. For our records, if you could just give your name.
Carly Mankowski,
Okay.
Radici Kitchen and Bar.
And based on your sketch that has been provided, tell us what you got going on.
So we are asking for 2 tables on either side of our door up against our window. Each table is 36 by 36 inches with 4 seats. And then we're also asking for permission to stretch out down the sidewalk in front of the karate shop, which we had done last year as well, with 3 tables, each of those 36 by 36 with 4 seats.
And are those the ones that are in front of the karate shop? Are those going to be against the window? Or
They are going to be against the road.
against the road?
Yes, yeah.
All right. Okay. Is there anyone from the public who wishes to speak on this application? Seeing none, nobody there. I will start with Mr. Brown again.
I was reading delivery there, I might have missed it. My concern was that sketch seemed to show tables 3, 4, 5 against the street. And my concern is vehicle parking, whether they be handicapped people or not. But it tends to be problematic, and why can't it be in front of the karate shop? That's it.
And we'll start with Ms. Andrews.
My only concern was, is the karate shop aware of your need to use the front of their spot?
I have not spoken with them this year, but we were there last year.
It was the
and
same
there
location, the tables were in the same location?
Same location, yes,
okay.
and there was
Because
no
there'd be a
issue.
certain amount of traffic coming and going.
Right, which is why we chose closer to the street. I know there's a doorway here, and so we tried to stay out of the way, out of their window. We tried to stay on the opposite side.
Okay, good. That's all.
Ms. Cohen?
No questions. Would they need permission from the owner of the building? City side.
No, it's city
That's
side.
why
It's
it's
not,
involved.
that's
Yeah, that's fine.
it's more or less for us to
Yeah.
make the recommendation and then you can do this. So. Okay.
No, I think just like spa, as long as you're conscious people be able to open their doors and stuff. I remember from last summer, it didn't seem to be problematic. Thank you.
Yeah, it seems like there's plenty of space there. Again, walking downtown all the time, I've never seen an issue, people being able to get out.
Thank you.
I have the same feeling, it's the same issue that I brought up at the spot. As long as there's enough room to open the doors for cars, and again, it's a policing issue more or less that you're responsible for.
Absolutely.
And if it becomes an issue, it would obviously get, if it became an issue, it would obviously get reported to the city, and then you'd get a visit from code enforcement to come knock on your door.
We try not to do that.
Exactly. And again,
Not like that anyway.
I feel the same way. I've walked down there many times, and it's never been an issue. So I'm okay with it. I forgot to ask on the last one. These don't
No,
make any
sir,
sense.
no, sir.
You have to correct me because I'll run right on by you. Would somebody like to make an advisory opinion motion for this?
Sure. I'd like to make a motion that the Glens Falls Planning Board hereby submit the following advisory opinion to the Common Council, that they should look with favor on the application of Carly Mankuski for an outside dining permit at the meeting of June 6, 2023.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. So this will also go to the common council on the 13th.
Excellent. Thank you very much. We
Thank you.
appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The next one is for Jerry Orica. I hope I said that right. Seeking outside dining permit for Lorella's Restaurant located at 21 Bay Street. Is there anybody here representing that application? At this point, I will table that application. I know that he responded with an email earlier today that said he would be here. I will table that for now until somebody arrives. The next application is actually two parts. I'm going to take them both at the same time. For Journey Kirchner is seeking an outside dining permit for downtown social located at 190 Glen Street, and we are also doing architectural review 230004 pursuant to section 220-19E. Journey Kirchner, owner of Downtown Social, a restaurant located at tax map number 302.20-28-3, commonly known as 190 Glen Street, is seeking architectural review and approval to changes to the facade of the building. I will clarify this in the fact that Mr. Kirchner has no has no option but to.
I have no facade.
This is the building that was run into by the car that jumped the curb. So Journey is simply trying to fill in the hole that's been filled over by a gray tarp for about what, a year and a half now?
March 21st, 2022.
Okay, so
Yep.
a little over a year, and it's been a while.
It's been a while.
So, for the record, you can just state your name and tell us a story about what you're doing.
Journey Kirchner, Downtown Social. So the easy one real quick, 10-foot encroachment.
Yep.
Provided a new drawing with table layout. It's the same encroachment we've had. We were actually granted 12-foot for many years, but we've always set up at 10.
Yep.
So this just reflects that.
Yep. Nothing different than what you had for a
No.
number of years.
A lower table count, but
Yep. In the Exchange Street alley and then across the front.
Correct.
Facade of Glen Street.
on Glen Street, yep. And there's over 6 feet, there's 8 feet from us to planters to, account for new 6-foot walkway regulations. There was always tons of room there.
And the same going up Exchange, right?
The Exchange, there's 6 feet the whole path, yeah.
All the way through. Okay. Is there anybody here who'd like to speak regarding this application? Seeing none, do we have anybody online? Nobody? Okay. I will start again with Mr. Brown and we'll deal with just outside dining at this point.
Regarding the tables, my only interest was whether it would inhibit any building exiting. I know it's a code department thing, but it's not, I haven't seen much on the front of the building to tell me otherwise.
This is not us.
This is the one here.
Oh.
That's the one right there.
Okay. Now, but again, with that scheme, again, I was concerned about people in the center of that row being able to exit fast in an emergency.
Oh yeah, we actually have 3 egress exits. So we have this Exchange Street exit and this Glen Street exit.
Yeah.
Oh, in this exit row, there are gaps in between the railings.
Oh, okay.
The railings have gaps
Okay.
every 8 feet.
And for railing design,
It's just tube steel, Yeah.
same as before.
same as before.
Okay.
The same thing that's been there since 2018.
Yeah.
And those are anchored and you take them out.
Yep, that's correct. We take them out to plow the Exchange Street. Thank you.
I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will start with Mr. Bellin.
None, don't see no issues.
Ms. Murray.
No comment.
I had no comment either. Journey, this has been this way for a number of years, so I don't see anything any different. Again, this is just kind of a reapproval.
New form, yeah. No problem.
Reapproval. So I will deal just with the first. I will make a motion that the Glens Falls Planning Board hereby submits the following advisory opinion to the Common Council, that the council should look with favor on the application of Journey Kirchner seeking outside dining permit for downtown social restaurant located at 190 Glen Street as presented at the meeting of 6 June 2023. Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Yes.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. So we'll get that one out of the way rather quickly. The next one is the repair to the damage. I know that some of us received some emails from Kathy regarding this. There was some confusion that the work had already been done. I can tell you from sitting there the other night and looking at it, it has not been done. There's the tarp that's over the outside. So we are dealing with, this is architectural review for the repair to the damage to the front of the building. So tell us what you're up to.
So it was a fixed window in that location. The car that came through destroyed that window, obviously, but also caused some damage to the framing outside. So we need to replace all that framing outside, and we're replacing the fixed window with an articulating window, a garage door. That'll have a self-service counter. It'll service the community outside.
Make it a little easier to get food delivered from inside to outside.
Yeah, it's a 150-foot walk.
Yeah. And the restaurant all the way in the back.
Yeah, exactly.
In the front, it's going to make things a little easier for your staff. I can imagine. Is there anybody from the public that wishes to speak on this application? Nobody there? Okay, Mr. Brown, we'll start with you.
Colors.
Color. So the color of trim will match the existing, which is this. In this photo, I can show you. It'll match this existing trim, which is green.
Yeah.
And the brick will be, or rather, the columns will be color matched as well. So there's no color there, and then that bronze is the garage door color,
Okay.
which also matches the other fixtures outside.
Okay.
All good. I'll start with you.
No comments. I think a garage door is a great idea.
Yeah, hopefully it'll be great.
No problem.
Yeah, it'll be open to service whenever we're open and weather permitting. We wanted to do the Glen Street side as well, but the historical district told us no.
Really? Shippo said no?
Yeah.
Really?
Well, JMZ said no.
Oh, okay.
The owners-
They are the building.
Yeah, they're the building. They wanted to keep the front facade the way it is. So it'll be one garage door on the Exchange Street side.
Ms. Murray?
No, I like it. I think it's gonna be very attractive.
Great. Thank you.
Mr. Bell? I don't have any issues with it either. I mean, I think that it's gonna be a neat, I know a lot of the places are going to these overhead doors. I mean, Mikado's got them.
Yep.
There's a couple other places.
Craft on 9 has them as well.
Yeah, Craft on 9 has theirs, and they can open up, and I think.
Spot does as well, actually.
Yeah, theirs are the ones that kind
Accordion.
of fold up against the outside walls. So.
About 20 times the price, it turns out.
Exactly, yeah, maybe more than that. So, I mean, I think that the garage door, and in a lot of places, it's becoming very fashionable to do that and use them.
We're trying to prepare for self-service.
Yeah.
Counter service, fast casual service.
Yeah, no, I think that'll work out really well for it.
Great.
Does this one have any
With
secret?
respect to seeker, I would classify it as a type 2, as maintenance or repair involving no substantial changes to the existing structure or facility. Therefore, no further action is required.
Okay, thank you. Would someone like to make a motion for architectural review for this?
Sure. I'd like to make a motion that the Glens Falls Planning Board, acting as the Board of Architectural Review, hereby grant architectural approval for the project identified as Journey Kirchner, owner of Downtown Social, located tax map number 302.20-28-3, as presented at the meeting of June 6, 2023, with no conditions.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries, you're all set.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful day.
You too. Okay. I've been told by the City Code Enforcement Office that Michael Dinsmore is not available for tonight. Was there anybody here for the 240 Warren Street project? So that one is being tabled at this point. He will appear at next month's meeting. I don't know if there was something that came up, he couldn't get here for whatever reason, so we're going to go ahead and table that one. That is table information. Let me read that official motion.
I would.
I would make a motion that the planning board hereby tables site sign review 230008 pursuant to the city code chapter 180-6 for Michael Dinsmore pending the applicant being present to present. Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Carries. Okay. Next item on our review is site plan review 23-0007 pursuant to the city code chapter 220-20 part B number 19. Matt Funicello, owner of Rock Hill Bakehouse and Cafe located at tax map number 303.17-13-8, commonly known as 18 Current Lane. Eric Unkoff is the property owner. Matt is seeking site plan approval for the installation of patio and outdoor dining area. Yay, we have a winner.
Well, I don't know that yet.
And I knew that you were here for one of these.
Of course. How are you all? Thank you for seeing us tonight.
Very well. For the record, can you just state your name and application?
My name is Matt Funicello. I'm here on behalf of Rock Hill Bakehouse, which I own. We're at 18 Kern Lane in Glens Falls.
Go ahead, tell us about your project.
Our ideal would be to have an outdoor patio. It was something that we had kind of tabled because we moved just before the pandemic began and it was winter time. We were thinking there's plenty of outdoor space to seat in that vicinity. Now that Eric is doing the mural garden, we're finding that our picnic table seating that he was providing is probably going to be in different areas that aren't quite as conducive to having our diners eat at them. So what we wanted to do is we have 2 green spaces in front of the 60 or 80 feet. I'm sorry, I don't know the exact number at the moment. But the one on the left side, which is closest to Kern Lane, and the front of our building is actually, I think, 12 by 32. That space we want to convert from basically a very well-tended weed bed and pollinator garden. We want to transplant all of those to the other side, which we already actually have done that part. And then actually submit to you that we would put pavers and gravel into that area and then actually have a barrier, probably use mafia blocks as they like to call them, with planters on top to protect from the parking lot and have 5 or 6 tables out front. The diagrams are at the back.
Okay. Is there anyone from the public who wishes to speak on this application? We'll start with Mr. Brown, our architectural consultant.
So the 2x6 concrete
Yeah.
are planters.
Well, actually, we already have the planter boxes. We would take the 2x6 concrete blocks, put the planters, which also coincidentally are 2x6, put them on top of those blocks.
Okay, I just wondered what that was about.
Yeah, that it's just reusing things that we already have.
Good.
Yes.
That's it.
That's it. Where did I start with? Where am I? Start with you. I'll start with Mr. Belvin.
That looks fine to me.
Ms. Burger.
No, I think that would be a really nice addition to them.
I agree.
Ms. Feldman.
No questions or comments?
Ms. Andrews.
No questions. It was really well done. I appreciate that.
Well,
Like graph paper and everything,
that
it was
I have to
really
give all the
well
credit to both Amber, who did the drawing, and Eric, who did the application.
Very
I
nice.
merely showed up in my dirty painting clothes to announce that we wanted to do it.
Very nicely done. And I'm
Sir.
looking forward to mural garden.
Yes. Thank you. Me too.
Yes, the only question I had, is that the side of the building that the mural is going to be painted on?
Actually, the mural is going to be on the lower part of the building where the
Right.
pollinator garden is, so that's actually the other side.
Okay.
We may actually end up continuing it onto that patio side as well, but that's not fully decided yet.
Yeah. Well, I know that when that had come to us, Eric brought that back to us, it's got to be 6 or 8 months ago now.
Yep.
And he and I were talking about doing that part of the mural on that side.
Right.
And I just wondered if that was, I mean, I think it would be quite interesting to have that, behind your tables and stuff.
Well, I think Eric's initial thought process about that was that the pollinator garden is a great idea, but it's only there 3 or 4 months of the year.
Right.
And the rest of the year, it would be great to have kind of an educational and artistic aesthetic that tells people, educates them about what a pollinator garden is.
What's going on.
Yeah, so we have actually handed that over to Amber Lanuti, who is our resident artist, to work with Hannah and Eric to get that done, but it's not final as of yet what we're gonna do specifically.
Yeah. No, I think it's a great idea, Matt. I fully think that, having that over there is gonna help you out a lot.
Super. We appreciate that. Thank you very much, everybody.
Would somebody like to make a motion for this one?
With respect to seeker,
Oh,
I
see, I knew I was gonna jump out.
I would classify this as a type 2, as it's construction, expansion, or placement of a minor accessory structure, which does include the patio or deck. And it does not change the use of land or density, therefore no further action is required.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
You need a switch or something, and just smack me with it. Switch, yeah, flash on, just smack me with it. Now, that we have, would anyone, somebody like to make a motion?
Sure. Where's the site plan, right? I'd like to make a motion that the Glens Planning Board, acting as a board of site plan review, hereby grant site plan approval for the project identified as Matt Funicello, owner of Rock Hill Bakehouse and Cafe, commonly known as 18 Curran Lane. As presented at the meeting of June 6, 2023, with no conditions.
Great. Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? You're all set.
Okay. Do we have to do anything with the commission later on, or no?
I don't
Meeting on
think
the
so.
13th. That's
This
what
one-
our
this
thought
one-
was too, but
This one doesn't require anything from the city, it's on private
It's on
property.
private
So
property.
there's no encroachment required?
There
So
is-
you don't have to come back to the common council for that?
fantastic.
You can start putting block down.
Thank you so very much, all of you. Take care.
Absolutely, thanks.
We've got a building permit.
Yeah, Matt, you will have to get together with the building department and get a building permit to put the blocks down, but outside of that, you're all set. There's no other approvals.
Thank you much.
Okay, I will revisit the two other projects that we have temporarily tabled, as I see nobody here. So the encroachment, which is actually a curb cut permit for Robert Colvin, I will further table that application to the meeting of July
July 5th.
July 5th, 2023. Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries there. And Jerry Pareca, seeking the outside dining permit for Lorella's Restaurant. I'm really surprised that he's not here for that because he responded saying he would be here for that. So at this point, I will make a motion to table the outside dining permit for Jerry Pareca for Lorella's Restaurant located at 21 Bay Street. Can I get a second on that table?
Present.
All in favor? Any
Yes.
opposed? At this time, I will recuse myself from the board as I am representing the applicant for the last item on our agenda. Rachel, will you take that for me? You can read into it, and I will go down and keep you guys song things.
Next on the agenda is the site plan review of the MCON Islamic Society of Upstate New York. And here to speak on that is Ethan.
So for your records, my name is Ethan Hall. I'm a principal with Brzezinski Hall Architecture, here tonight representing the MCON Islamic Society of Upstate New York. This is the church that is on the corner of Davis and Lincoln. It was formerly, I want to say it was Christian Science, right? Is what it was prior. There's no actual changes to the building. The services for the Islamic Society are on Friday evenings, and there is Lincoln is a very wide street with parking on both sides, so they don't really have a problem there. The problem they have is on Davis. That when they've got people there, Davis is a relatively narrow street. So what they're trying to do is avoid having people parking on Davis Street by creating a 10 parking space lot on there. They have a fair amount of green space on their lot already. So we dug a couple of test pits. It will certainly suffice for stormwater, to be able to get stormwater into 2 dry wells there on the property. There are 4 areas of the property that have window wells that go down into the ground that are covered over. The intent there is to get those so that they're they're open again. And then there's an eave trench that we're gonna put all the way around the building to further help drainage around the building. So we get that taken care of. This will get 10 cars off the street and allow for a lot better circulation around the building to do that. We do not have any intention of putting any street lighting or any parking lot lighting. The only lighting is there that's on the building now. There's plenty of street lights to light the lot, so that's not really an issue. We do have it as a 14-foot drive so that you can come in from Lincoln and out onto Davis. We did it as 14 feet so that if they ever needed to get a fire truck back there or emergency access, 14 feet is kind of the minimum that we want to see to do that. Obviously, I don't think if there was a fire in the building that the fire department's going to roll a truck up there, but that is a rear access to the main sanctuary, so if there was ever a problem inside, getting an ambulance in there would be, I think, an easier thing to do that. As far as fencing and things like that, we have shown fence on the two sides. They've talked with the neighbors about it. The intent is to run a fence from Davis Street up to the back property line, and then from that property line back down to Lincoln. We will, when we get within the front yard setback, that fence, it'll be a white vinyl fence, 6 feet tall. When we get to the front yard, that drops down to be a 3 feet because we can't have a 6-foot fence in the front yard. The rest of the fencing that's shown around the property is already there. That's the low fencing that kind of surrounds the entire property. Outside of that, they've got some existing plantings that we're going to move, some shrubberies that we're going to kind of relocate so that we keep all of the green space that's there growing, and the rest of it will be blacktop for parking.
Ethan, the county sent, I don't know if you got this.
I did not. I've been waiting for Gina to send
This
something.
was handed to me by our architect, and it says no county input with stipulation. Removal of green space, grass, and mature trees for surface parking results in excessive lot coverage and requires an area variance. Can the applicant meet parking needs by utilizing on-street parking?
We're
So this
trying-
is R1B,
Mhm.
maximum lot coverage is 35%. Are we going to have a problem with that?
What we can do is we can make the pavement into permeable pavement.
You've got that, yeah, it says minimum percent permeable 65%.
Mhm.
That's on your drawing.
Yep. And this would wind up being, see, I thought that, yeah, okay. So, yeah, we can take that into account and make enough of the pavement into permeable pavement that we would meet the requirement for that. The permeable pavement gives you a 65%, so we would have to just figure out a number to avoid having to get an area variance to do that.
Well, and I'm sorry that this was just handed to us.
Yeah, I didn't,
So,
it never even jumped to my,
being put on the
never even
spot
jumped to my
here.
head.
Came in the back door.
Didn't know, I didn't even see it.
Okay.
But yes, I can certainly make that change to get that taken care of.
There's nobody here. Is there anyone online that has any questions or input, Peter? Anybody have anything to say? All right. Start with our architectural consultant, please.
Ethan touched on a few things I was curious about. This is a final site plan, not a conceptual plan.
I saw your note. Until it's approved, it's always conceptual in my mind.
Actually.
So until a project is approved by a board, in my mind, it's always a concept because it may change. So when the final drawing is done and
Yeah.
submitted for permits,
Okay.
it'll be noted as final.
And I was recommending some evergreen shrubs along the white fence property line areas to break it up.
Yeah, the problem that we've got is that's going to really make it tough on snow plowing. And so there's a lot of shrubs there now that are severely overgrown that are getting taken out. to be able to put the fence in, and I know that, and Ash just walked in, so I know that they've talked with the adjoining property owners about it, and they would prefer to have fencing.
Yeah. Well, I meant on your side of the fence.
Yeah, I just think that when they get to plowing snow, they're just gonna get destroyed.
Okay.
So that we prefer not to do that. We've got enough.
And I
other green space.
also was thinking of that between the 5 cars on Davis Street and the public sidewalk.
Mhm.
Some amount of screening to relieve the car front
Sure.
area.
Yeah, and we've got a bunch of shrubbery that we have to relocate anyway, so instead of maybe clumping it the way it is now, we could spread it out and have it go across the front. Sure, we do.
Works for me.
Sure.
And then my question was, does the parking code require the 5-foot buffer strip between pavement and property line?
Only if if the property line is adjoining a residential,
Okay,
and neither of ours do.
okay.
So we've got the strips on both sides, so, but we've got the 5-foot strip, the buffer strip all the way around the outside.
And what about handicap parking and building access?
So right now, there are a couple of spots designated out on the street that they're using for that. The building itself is not actually handicap accessible.
Yeah,
And unfortunately, because there's no changes to the building,
yeah.
we're not required to, but at this point, we haven't, we felt that parking is at enough of a premium over there to designate not only a handicap parking space, but then in a loading zone, we lose 2 parking spaces.
Yeah.
So, we just felt that if there's a handicapped person that's coming to this, that for whatever reason, they've got a couple of spaces that are right directly out front on Lincoln that are right next to the front, this portion right here.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
they've got spaces out there that they kind of designate, and then they can get right from there to the front of the building.
Yeah.
So, there is kind of a sidewalk that goes up and around to the side that
Yeah.
gets you to the side of the building, so I think that's
Okay.
satisfying that.
And lastly, how do they handle trash and garbage?
It's a very small generator. They've just got a couple of roll-offs that they would have similar to what they have for
Okay.
residential. There's no large generator of trash.
That's it.
Looks like a nice design, again, it gets, add some more parking to the city, and they're trying to alleviate something before it's a problem. Nice design.
No questions, or, I mean, I was always curious about where people park at that building, so.
Right now, they park out on the street.
No, I know, and that's, I mean, it's a beautiful building, and I'm happy to see it in use, and, I'm looking forward to having this so that it's easier for them.
Thank you.
Sanders?
I think the permeable addition would help because you lose a bunch of space, so I get.
Yeah, we can take care of that. We'll put it in as permeable pavement. Take care of it that way. Okay. Thank you.
I think it's very nice. It's nice, I agree, it's nice to see it's gonna be well kept and nice, and those overgrown bushes need to go. So it'll look really good. I think it's a nice, it's only gonna be the one-way traffic coming,
So,
entering,
yeah,
getting-
coming in from Lincoln and out onto Davis. We figured if we were trying to get out onto Lincoln, especially when people are trying to leave,
Yeah.
it was a little more
Yeah.
chaotic. If you're coming out onto Davis and there's really not as much parking there, it's an easier street to get out onto.
No, I think it's nice. Absolutely.
Yeah, Davis is a little tight, and especially when if there's parking and stuff going on there, which, I mean, parking is allowed on, but boy, it makes it for a tight street.
But even like winter, snow,
Yeah.
all that, like it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This will help, I mean, the 10 spaces is gonna help to
And that
alleviate.
hasn't been used, that space, it's not like it was a yard, it just has to
Right,
be
right.
well used, so it'll be nice.
Yeah.
How big is the congregation? Just.
How many people in the congregation right now, Ash? There's about 40 that are coming in now. And I imagine during the Islamic holidays, those go up.
We had a meeting
Yeah, so it can go up to as many as 60 during the Islamic holidays.
And we have to do seeker on this?
I submitted a short form, so
You did, because I've been searching, trying to find type 2 to fit it in, and I can't.
it's not.
So it's not. So you and I agree, great minds think alike. So I would classify this as an unlisted action, which requires the board to review the Part 2 impact assessment. So I'll read the questions, and the board has to answer yes or moderate to large impact. Will the proposed action create a material conflict with an adopted land use plan or zoning regulation?
No.
No. Will the proposed action result in a change in the use or intensity of the use of land? No. Will the proposed action impair the character or quality of the existing community? No. Will the proposed action have an impact on the environmental characteristics that cause the establishment of a critical environmental area?
No.
No. Will the proposed action result in adverse change in the existing level of traffic or affecting existing infrastructure for mass transit, biking, or walkway?
No.
No. Will the proposed action cause an increase in the use of energy and it fails to incorporate reasonably available energy conservation or renewable energy opportunities?
No.
No. Will the proposed action impact existing public-private water supplies?
No.
Public-private wastewater treatment utilities? Will the proposed action impair the character or quality of important historic, archaeological, architectural, or aesthetic resources?
No.
Will the proposed action result in adverse change to natural resources such as wetlands, water bodies, groundwater, air quality, flora, or fauna?
No.
No. Will the proposed action result in an increase in the potential for erosion, flooding, or drainage problems?
No.
Will the proposed action create a hazard to environmental resources or human health?
No.
Given the board has answered no to the Part 2 impact assessment, I believe the board could issue a negative declaration. You can make your secret motion.
Okay. I'd like to make a motion that the Glens Falls Planning Board hereby accepts lead agency status for the MCON Islamic Society of Upstate New York, Gujar Baba Ash, owner of tax parcel number 302.15-14-15, commonly known as 37 Davis Street. The board has determined the action to be a type 2 unlisted action and has reviewed the short form environmental assessment form, and upon documentation and discussion issues a negative declaration. All in favor? Yes. Any? Okay, then that passes.
That part's
Secret's
fine.
on, that's the easy part.
Nay. And then we can move it for the site, or the site plan review for human service.
You can do your site plan review now, but there is one condition, right? Condition that we that the plan be modified so that the pavement is permeable so that it meets the code and an area variance is not required, right? Even you're okay if the condition is that no area variance will be required.
Yes.
And the pavement will be permeable to the extent that the area.
To get it so the area variance not necessary, yes. I will make that modification before we make the submission.
Does anybody else have anything to add before we make a motion? Okay. And I'd like to make a motion that the Glens Falls Planning Board, acting as the Board of Site Plan Review, hereby grant site plan approval for the project identified as the MCON Islamic Society of Upstate New York and located at 37 Davis Street as presented at the meeting of June 6, 2023, with the condition that the permeable pavement will be used to meet the code and the area variance will not be required. Second. All in favor?
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank
Can you hang on for a minute? Thank you, Ms. Marie. Much appreciated. Does anyone have anything else for the common good of the board? We have 2 tabled applications that will be pending for next month. And the last item that I would like to bring.
Colvin, Pareco.
Oh, I forgot about, that's right, Michael, I remembered the 2, but I forgot the actual 2. The last item I would like to bring up is that I know we've all received the email from Mr. Brown earlier this afternoon. Mr. Brown is joining us for the last time
Yep.
after 46 years as a consultant to the city.
Lost my eyesight, my hearing, and my car keys.
I do have to say, having been on this board for 20 years and served in for that amount of time, it has been a pleasure. Us both being in the same field, we've not always seen eye to eye on everything, but we've always gotten along and gotten, that's what this board is all about. The city does thank you for your commitment to this, to this board and to the things that you've done for the city. Personally, outstanding. I have, the utmost respect for the amount of time that you've put forth to this city and for the amount of work that you've done. It's going to be hard to say, next month, who am I, who am I going to lean on for the architectural review at this point? So I do appreciate everything you've done for us here.
You recently mentioned Peter Cardy. I was here before him, but when he came on the board, the clouds of steam went up because he asked questions. And that was not happening in those days.
Yeah.
So the board has come a huge way.
Even in the 20 years that I've been here, I know that you served under my father-in-law when Bud was the chairman of this board. So, I have to step up and tell him that you're deciding to follow in his footsteps. He's gotten out of all of his boards now. So. But again, we really appreciate you and everything you've done for the city. Thank you very much. You will be greatly
You're
missed.
welcome. Take your tie off.
You can take your tie out.
Make it official.
You can enjoy it. Does anyone have anything else as the common good of the group?
What are we going to do to fill the shoes?
Yeah, that I don't know. That's going to be a conversation that I have to have with the mayor, because Dan brought up a good point. As I am a registered architect, it's not a necessity for us to have that consultant. I just don't feel that if we didn't have one, when I did what I just did and stepped down, it puts the board in a tough spot. So it's going to be my recommendation, and quite frankly, I don't want that to be my responsibility.
Yeah.
Being the chairman is enough. It's been awesome to have somebody that I can, if I have a question on something, I can bounce it off Dan. If he's got a question, he asks me. It's to have another set of eyes that have the same, the same training, the same background. It's for us, it's really good.
It really helps the rigor of the board too, to have that kind of
Absolutely does.
background
Absolutely
and
does.
information.
Yep.
Yeah, your insight and knowledge has just been, it's been such a great experience getting to know you over the past few years, and really I value your
Same here.
opinion and your view, and you bring a lot. I think one of our first conversations was about the historical buildings and the importance of maintaining the historical buildings at the forefront.
It's going to be tough shoes to fill.
Yes.
There's no doubt, and that's just one
I
more
am
reason.
opinion to the mayor that the best situation would have an independent architect, then you wouldn't have to worry, or
100%.
boardroom.
100% agree, and it's
And once you lose me in the budget, you'll never get it.
that is the other thing. If that if it comes out, because obviously if it was something that I would do, it's not something I can be paid for. And once Dan's right. Once it's gone and it's lifted out, it's gone forever. Because it won't be. I don't think we'd ever get an approval to do that.
That's big government.
Yes, Absolutely, 100%. So again, I do thank you. You will be missed. If nobody has anything else, I would make a motion that we adjourn the meeting of June 6, 2023. Can I get a second?
Second.
Anybody opposed to that? All right. Thank you very much. I'll see you in July.